Hello, my name is Lule-Medrano, and today I will be discussing the importance of good intercultural communication skills for global business expansion. While some small nuanced cultural differences can come into play, it is far more important to understand common widespread distinctions. For example, Kenyans typically never point towards people with their index fingers, something that is very common in the US, because it is considered rude, improper, and oftentimes even offensive within their culture. Now, we could have deduced this from interactions with people of that culture in what we term intercultural communication, but conveying information amongst different cultural groups goes far beyond speaking in simple hand gestures. To understand this, we must first understand what a culture is and how it can be categorized. Oftentimes, we misuse the term diversity to describe a culture. Culture defines the actions, beliefs, values, practices, and customs of a particular group. Diversity, on the other hand, refers to the plurality of different groups of people. A culture can be diverse based on factors such as gender, religion, age, and sexual orientation, and both terms are applicable to the workplace and to proper communicative decisions. Now, cultures can be even better understood when categorized as low and high context. Lower context cultures like Canada and the United States tend to focus on establishing short term business relationships that prioritize explicit verbal communication, written contractual agreements, a sense of personal privacy, attention to detail, efficacy at the fastest rate, and set schedules. Meanwhile, higher context cultures like Japan and Korea gravitate towards longstanding relationships that emphasize more implicit forms of communication, verbalized agreements, a dedication to their group, and acceptance of their hierarchical structure, while prioritizing the quality and accuracy of completed work outside of a set time frame. All right, well, so how do we translate this into the business world? Well, we assimilate to the best of our abilities. Nonverbal communication is a great first look since oftentimes our body language sends a message long before our mouths utter any words. And since the Japanese market is our company's first possible business venture, I will be using their culture as my primary example. Americans typically are taught to remain open and fluid in their body movements when speaking to others to keep a friendly ambiance and avoid seeming closed off, while Japanese citizens are taught to sit still and avoid fidgeting at all costs. Prolonged eye contact can be seen as rude, so looking towards the speaker's neck is not uncommon. This will make more sense to an American representative when they accept that Japanese motivation is often based on group harmony, group achievement, and a sense of acceptance. Even the concept of time is relative, as cultures on the low context side of the spectrum tend to gravitate towards more monochronic perceptions of time, while higher context cultures are associated with polychronic perceptions. Monochronic cultures see time as more of a tangible commodity, meaning that they tend to adhere to more definitive schedules with set deadlines. Polychronic cultures are fairly opposite of this. Multitasking is normal, and completion of the task at hand is placed far above punctuality. Now, a touchier topic for people can be that of personal space and privacy. Americans are quite used to cubicle spatial arrangements, with higher power officials in separate offices. We associate hard work with silence and quiet focus. Meanwhile, a Japanese working environment is far more collaborative, and separate offices are viewed as inefficient. While less touchy than Americans, invading someone's personal space is the norm in Japan. Goals are viewed as a group effort, and they communicate as such. Oral communication, such as simple compliments, are also incredibly different in Japan. For example, if a coworker were to comment on your tired appearance, it would be a compliment and be seen as a testament to your hard work and dedication. We as Americans even tend to casually over-exaggerate in casual conversation, which is something that would be seen as nonsensical to overseas business partners. Whether it's based on age, color preferences, clothing styles, or even height, we all carry biases into the workplace that come through in daily interactions. When speaking to Japanese officials, we would have to acknowledge older partners first and recognize the badges that denote their status. Although we do share a common partiality towards taller men being more successful in the workforce, there is usually some form of common ground in our use of languages, visuals, or individual images. Make sure to acknowledge it when communicating. And in terms of adaptability through interpersonal communication, always remember to try to understand the differences. Lead with experience over generalizations. Keep personal biases in check. And lastly, interpersonal communication affects any interaction with someone of a different culture, regardless of where it falls on the low to high context spectrum. And when in doubt, there is no shame in asking. Thank you, and I wish you the best of luck.